It's today. It's today. Is it? Is my stream say it's a different day? I always screw this up. Oh, my bad. I know what happened. I know what happened. It's my PC. My I've been editing Beanbase, and part of the game is it tracks your calendar date on your system. And so I needed to manually change my system to a day ahead to make sure it was going to like work in succession. And so I moved my calendar date. I forgot to move it back, so that's why it's ahead. I've been confused all day today. Keep checking my PC. I'm like wrong. We'll wait till more people start rolling in, but my wife she was like, if you're gonna get mayo, she's at least get one without seed oils. So ugh, I'll wait. Put it right there so people can see it. It was warm, so it's cold now. Let's change my time here. This is a mini one. Well, there is literally, I mean, like 11 grams of fat per serving. There's 24 servings in this. Dude, that's a lot. I might throw up tonight. I might. I'm not sure. I don't throw up very easily. I don't want this to turn into like a filthy Frank video. I don't think it will. I tried a bite of some other mayo, and dude, it's nasty, man. It's nasty. It's so gross. Change the Yeah, I would love it. I got your reference later. Ugh, dude. No, I'll eat it on the stream. I have to I have to I have to finish it on this stream. I don't know how long it could take 15 minutes. It could take 2 hours. I don't know. I honestly I have no idea. Dude, that nasty. Yeah, dude, I am not. I'm not. This is dude, I'm it would be cool to have a timer. Okay. Well, what's a fair amount of time to finish an entire jar of mayo? What's a normal time for that? Do I need to like look up Joey Chestnut highlights? Look it up. Stopwatch. I can do a stopwatch, but we'll do one on stream. $30 minutes. Let me look. What's the world record? I Dude, I'm actually like, I don't. This is, dude. I'm actually like, I don't. Oh, 3 minutes by Michelle. Let's go. Let's go. How much is this? This is so she ate about 2,500, 2,400 grams. How much is in this? 14 grams in a serving, 24 servings. Dude, what is that? 336 grams in this. So 336 grams. Dude, that's a lot, man. Dude, oh my gosh. Dude, so this is only 340 at most, right? Like 340-ish. She ate 2,400 grams of mayo in 3 minutes, dude. And I'm like, I don't know if I can freaking, I don't know if I can, dude, I don't know, man. It's so gross. I should make mayo an Easter egg item. Yeah. I have radiation storms. That's how you harvest it. It's because I'm not going to look fondly on this in the future. It'd be something you have to like scrape off the floor. Oh my gosh. Dude, guys, I'm not. Should I just go for it now? Or we wait? How many people we got on here? Dude, I'm not. Dude, my Subway order is going to look very different after this. I go like, oh, no, it has to be eaten from a jar. I got to do the whole experience. I got to eat it for reference. This, at least I'm not getting the seed. Never mind, there's still polyunsaturated fats in it. Doesn't matter. Oh, dude, I don't know. I want to get gross. I don't throw up. Like, I just don't. I don't throw up very easily. I threw up for the first time in like over 10 years because I had a couple, but that was it. Got food poisoning at a comedy club, actually. I was watching Mark Norman, who's very funny in real life, too. That guy does not make eye contact, by the way. Like, if you've watched like the JRE podcast with him, he literally, dude, they make fun of him because he wears sunglasses and eye contact in the comedy club. He's the first comedian I've ever seen that when he's performing, everybody's eyes are right here and he's above everybody the whole time. Like everybody's low and he just does not. He'll do crowd work and he's like pointing to people in the audience, but he's looking at them like this, like he's looking above them. It's kind of funny to watch. But yeah, so that night I went home. I got so sick. I don't know what I had. I wasn't like in heavy or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know what made me sick, but I don't know. I don't know. I've eaten a lot of dumb things. You just searched what could happen. What would happen? I didn't look it up because I'm too afraid. This is what an AI told you. What Gemini told you. What did Gemini say? Guys, I'm freaking out. Should I just go for it? Dude. Chucked. Dude, I can't, dude. All right. Hey, slime cream. Ugh. I got a little paper in here. He's very Mark. If you're talking about Mark Norman, yeah, he's very. That's just his thing. He just can't make eye contact. All right, guys. I don't know where to put this. The weirdest mukbang you've ever. No, dude. Oh my gosh, dude, dude, dude. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Dude. I don't want to do ASMR. Some of you are gonna like it if I do that. That's gonna make me more uncomfortable. Dude, I feel like I've eaten so much. I've taken 2 bites. Yeah, I gotta fix something in my stream because by the time it's almost like it's not garlicky. What is in the mustard? Oh, dude. Imagine it's like cream. Come here, take a bite. Come eat this avocado. You come here and you eat this and pretend it's cream of wheat. If you want to come here and eat mayo and you pretend it's cream of wheat, dude, you, dude, I can't, dude, this is so 2,400 grams. Dude, it's been 3 minutes. I've gotten that far in. We're eating mayo with you and get the frick out of here. Get no. you're eating mayo with me, send me a DM. Send a prove it. Take a picture of you eating mayo. Send me a DM. 5K sub special 2 jars, dude. It's like hard to swallow. I think dude, I just wanted to play Bean Base on stream. Talk about game dev. You guys are like, no, eat 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 a jar of mayonnaise. Dude, this is not this I okay. Before I went I did this, I was really like I don't know why I did this. I was like I need to like cleanse my whole palate. I freaking dude, I hydrogen peroxide my I like I brush my teeth with hydrogen peroxide to like I dude. I'm gonna have to do that like 20 times now. I'm gonna have to gargle bleach. Oh, gargle. Don't do that. But I'm going to after this because this is bad. Dude, I did dude. Dude. Dude, I'm like I'm gagging about thinking about taking bigger bites of mayo. Yeah. Dude. Oh my god, shit. Dude, I'm tearing up. Dude, it just tastes it doesn't even taste good, dude. I don't have a lot here and something's been weird with our water. Something's been weird with our water. Bro, I'm pretty yeah, I'm pretty far in. Oh, you wanted this, guys. If you eat it like the Punisher. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about bean base. That is what I should do for day 100. And somebody said a jar of mayonnaise. Oh, dude, this is a glass jar. And dude, I feel like I've eaten. Oh, I'm wearing a dress shirt and I'm wearing sweatpants. I did that for you guys. I want to keep this nearby. Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, it's like it's hard to just not gag. I don't know why. I do know why. It's mayonnaise. You guys not you how do you say I've had people get mad at me for saying mayonnaise and it's mayonnaise. How do you say it? Way of saying may Dude, I gotta get through this. There's no way. I am worried. I should have done the game. I should have done the game first. I had a friend in high school who got really mad at me for saying mayonnaise. Like, wanted to fight me. He was like, there's no man in it. Mayonnaise. Said, I'm sorry. Said it again at the a packet of mayonnaise table and he hit it and it got in my eyes. That was my first bad experience with mayonnaise. This is my second bad experience with mayonnaise. Now I know how to say it. Are they British? No, they're from North Idaho. The opposite, the literal opposite of British. Oh, oh my gosh, dude. It's like getting thicker. Matthias, you are not. We're not British. You are. You wear flip flops too much. British. Do I say mayo? I say mayo. I say mayonnaise. I've lost a couple already, dude. Okay. I don't want people to watch this. I want people I want people to play this at my This is how I die. I want this whole VOD to be. And if anybody laughs at all during the whole ceremony, we have to restart it. It's hard to think. It's like it's hard to process mentally what I'm trying to fight. Oh my lord. Dude, I'm almost I'm gonna I'm gonna I need one of those McFlurry straws. What do I look like? Say I look like Link, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna power through it. I'm gonna put my microphone. I'm gonna put my microphone away. Like I'm just gonna take like 10 bites in a row. Dude, I just want to get it over with. I'm just gonna get it over. Is is this enjoyable to? Is this actually enjoyable to watch? Me eating mayo. I'm eating mayonnaise because I worked on a video game for 100 days straight. If I keep burping it on camera, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try not to burp into my, but it's gonna come up. I'm not gonna. I won't throw up on stream. All right. Highlight of highlight of your month. Do you mean what do you mean you feel my pain? Are you eating mayo too? You're not eating mayo with me. Don't eat mayo. This seriously. This mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. Shut up. Sucks, dude. Oh my. What? I went to therapy today. I have to. I'm back. Dude, I just did. I just undid everything. Game dev is hard. I didn't think being a game dev would. But this game dev. This is like a. Well, this is like a bad. Freaking like a bad haze. Really, this is what the other game devs are. Risky Duck still in here. Successful game dev. Duck is this. Did they make you eat mayonnaise? I'm the only one that ate eating mayonnaise for 10 views. I'm thankful for all of you guys, but eating mayonnaise for 10 views. This is worth it. Risky Duck is here. Oh, dude, I'm serious. Is this like I'm usually I'm not bad. Usually not bad at talking and yapping. My head hurts. I feel like I'm eating a jar of mayonnaise. Fun fact about do a fun fact about the game. The main alien species is called Cridians, and Cridians come from the planet Cridios. Cridios is a very vibrant very vibrant world with lots of vegetation, and the dominant apex species are known as the Cridians that evolved basically as mutated sentient plants, and so they breathe CO2. Character breathe makes the science weak, and so don't question it. That's how it works. It also gave a reason for hydrogen to be in the game. How did somebody do this in 3 minutes, dude? And they were big jars. 3 of those in 3 minutes, dude. I'm emailing Joey Chestnut after this. My my stomach hurts. Heights. Apologize. I thought something was going to come up. I got on my thumb. I licked it. I don't know what mic this is. It was a cheapo Amazon one. You're not gonna. The name of my mic is a Mayo No. I'm not even lying. I'm not even making that up. Oh. Ah. Ah. Evan, you calm down. You calm down. You calm down, Evan. I'm doing my darndest. All right. Go on Punisher mode. I can see the bottom of the jar. Dude, I'm in pain. I am not, dude. I am not doing that. That was the worst thing you've ever said in your life. I'm gonna ban you, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm trying to like gag thinking of that, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm not doing that. No. Absolutely no way. Absolutely no way I'm soaking it water and drinking mayo water. No way. Dude, I'm not gonna be able to eat for like 3 days. When I finish this, you guys are gonna need to give me like 10 minutes before I can start processing. Not only is this a lot of mayo, not only is this a lot of mayo, Just a dude, that's a lot of just like dude, it's like getting in my head. I can't think. I have like fat in my head. I'm literally I'm getting like freaking monosaturated fats in my freaking brain. Dude, I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna be able to eat. Who suggested this? I think I know who's. I don't think they're on. The texture of it, dude, is actually making me want to throw up. You don't think I like eating a jar of mayonnaise? You don't think I enjoy this? You don't think this is fun? You don't think I'm having the time of my life? You don't think that this is the peak of human experience? Science. I still have a little bit more. I'm actually getting nauseous. I'm actually getting. Might be wondering what am I doing. This is a trick that you can try at home if you feel nauseous and actually work. You take isopropyl alcohol, you huff it, and it makes the nausea go away almost instantly. Huff some alcohol. Don't do this. I'm not doing this to get high. Please don't remove. This isn't drug. This is I'm not a doctor. I'm eating a jar of mayo. I'm trying not to die. Okay? Let me do this. This is actually diluted isopropyl, 90% isopropyl, about 50. Right. Like instant. Like nausea's gone. The gag. Oh, dude, it's like getting chill. The bottom of it. Self up. I'm having a hard time getting louder to speak. The bottom of this is getting. Hello, check. There we go. The bottom of this jar is becoming gelatinous. So every single bite is making like my mouth hurt. But why though? But why what? I don't know. I gave you this is on you guys. I gave like 5 days to vote on this crap. And 4 days. The mayo would have got time. I don't think Pete. Oh my gosh, dude. I should go run a mile after that. Did I just do a run on stream? Well, it wasn't just 10. I got a couple everywhere. It was a little bit more than 10. But compared to the other votes, it wasn't even close. Gray stash. I like how you are defending me, but I am a man of this. This is what the people want, so I must do it. My mic cutting in and out. I keep that. I apologize. This is probably like one of the quietest I've ever been on a stream. I'm not being that engaging. But this is hard. This is actually hard to like push. Dude, I'm not doing anything like there's no way. This is the old like you guys are experiencing a once in a lifetime thing here. Dude, I'm so close to being done. Look at that. Dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Ah. I don't have much left. I'm just gonna finish it. I'm not licking it clean. I'm done, dude. Ah, dude. Oh, the alcohol trick works. I used to do that on job sites. I'd stay up for like 24 hours straight. Not even. I'd have to like work all day and then work night at a different job. I get so sick. I would huff alcohol prep pads. Get vertigo after staying awake for like 20 hours. I'd start getting really sick. And I wasn't eating. So but I wasn't eating a jar of mayonnaise. Oh, I just need to like I'm just gonna do this. I don't want to move, dude. I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit. I'm just gonna talk. You guys have questions about bean base? I'm not gonna move for a couple minutes. I just need to sit and you guys got questions about bean base? Let me know. Been through a lot of crazy stuff after doing this for about 100 days, dude. Cool to watch how far the now run a 5K. You go freaking 5K, dude. Ah, dude, it's I feel sick, man. Okay. Gray Stash, what is Bean Base? Bean Base is an indie game I'm working on. That this is why we're eating mayo in the first place. Because I made a promise that I would upload every single day on different social medias of every single day I work on game. I've never missed a day except my anniversary. I skipped my uploading on my. Is it more story driven or free roam? It would be more considered free roam, but it's a base building game in space. So you and I'll show it. I just got the game to a somewhat playable state so we can actually take a look at it. I thought it was gonna throw. Dude, because today's it's more to answer your question, is it more free roam? It's a base building game. So you could go build whatever you want. There is a there oh yeah. My freaking prize up here, dude. Conquered this, dude. So it's more free roam because it's designed to be a base building game. But when you go to like main areas like the I don't know how you say it. There's like a distribution center that's like the main hub where all the NPCs are, and that's where you can go shop and stuff. That is going to be still free roam, but obviously you're going to be directed by NPCs, but you get to choose where you go. So it's not quite story driven, but you kind of get the idea. I mean, the game is most similar. The game is most similar to Animal Crossing. So that's kind of what the whole game is based around, is Animal Crossing. But go through some. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to wait for it to like settle a little bit because it's actually like making me. It's hard to think. What is this? So is it story driven? Are you doing a full release or will I do a demo? I will do a demo before we do a full release. Um, but I'm careful about how I want to do the demo. But I also don't want to. I don't want to focus on making a demo right now. I think it. I don't know. This is a debate I see a lot of different game devs have, and I'm not an experienced game dev. So if you guys have different opinions for this, for me, it makes more sense to make the finished game and then work backwards to make a demo. But I don't want the demo to just be like a tutorial and then it ends, obviously. But I also, there's a game recently, can't remember the name of the game, but cool indie game. Developer worked pretty hard on it. They made they made the full release game, didn't release it yet. They made a demo with a scheduled release later. They still had some stuff to work on it. Some Chinese company went and bought the demo, because their demo was just made from the same project file as the release game. They were literally able to just like reverse engineer their entire game, and they just re-uploaded it as is with all the assets, and there's nothing the game developer. So I'd want to be really careful to not accidentally do that. That's something I'll have to figure out down the road. But am I doing a demo? Yes, I will. I don't know when or how that's going to look. I do know, as far as like game marketing goes, releasing a demo is one of your biggest driving points for wish lists and future sales. So timing your demo is incredibly important. I don't want to just do that. Will there be custom suits? Yes, there will be custom suits. Different skins that you can unlock by playing the game. I'm not going to have a what do you call it? Microtransactions. Those are not going to be in the game. That makes me I don't like stuff like that. So you earn everything in the game. That's how you get it. But there will be some items that are much harder to get. Some are rare. Some are RNG. And so this is going to be a really fun game for people who love like 100%ing things. It's going to take a while to get certain things without feeling grindy. What is the projected price point? I don't know. Um, I want to be careful with what I say on that because it's subject to change. Obviously, Steam is one of those markets that notoriously people market it high and then they purposely discount it. So they're selling it at like a normal cost, even though it's discounted. So the customer feels like they're getting a cheaper price, is makes the customer feel validated and also the game developer makes more money. At the same time, I don't want to take advantage of people with that. So I don't know. I'm looking at games that are similar to mine. The games that are similar to mine that I'm trying to go for in quality are games like Stardew Valley. And Stardew Valley is a very, very good game. It's very, very well polished. And I don't even want to compare game base to Stardew Valley because it's just I'm not that, you know. But that is what I'm trying to go for. And so I don't know if I'm going to release it as a $15 game and then work down from there, or if I'm going to put it at $10 and work down from there. I have no idea, but it's probably going to be in that $10 to $12 range with discounts, most likely. But it's all subject to change. Depends how much content I'm able to produce. What I genuinely feel fair. It would be cool if you could build little arcades and play mini games on them. Yeah, I would love stuff like that. There's a there's a couple there's a couple little like arcade things I want to make with really simple like pixel games. Nothing crazy. Like Pong level games. Like something like that. Just something you could play. I think that'd just be I'm gonna sit forward for this one. This is from Chimp Official. Um yeah, I'm just not gonna do microtransactions because I just want personally I grew up I do not play I just don't give money to games via microtransactions. There's a game that requires you that put money into it after you've bought it, even for cosmetic stuff. It just makes me frustrated as a gamer because like I'm kind of playing this in a way like if I have to work hard to unlock these things, I'm fine with that. But if you're asking for more money, it's like it just doesn't feel like gaming to me. But I like that. I like grinding out to unlock. Um, I love. I think Helldivers does it that where you can buy, can get the cosmetic stuff and stratagems and all that with paying for super credits, but you can also unlock everything in the game in the game. I have a friend of mine, he was gifted Helldivers, so he didn't even buy the game. He has every single stratagem, every single what do you call it? My brain's not working. I just ate a jar. I was gonna throw up again. Those of you who are tuning in, I ate a jar of mayonnaise at first because you wanted me to, and now I feel sick. Helldivers does a great job at that because you can work towards everything. So my friend has not spent a dime. He has everything unlocked. Every skin, every stratagem, everything unlocked in the game. Everything. He hasn't spent one dime. Even by the base game. It was gifted to him. So that I look at stuff like that and I think that's What's your idea between personal gaming, which is more towards people playing solo, between personal gaming and multiplayer gaming, or like modern, hate this term, but quote unquote friend slop games? Um, Starcade is a good way. Might take that. Love that. Anyways, if it's not our thing. I'm hoping to release Beanbase. Side note, I'm hoping to release Beanbase at the end of this year or beginning of next year. So I'm really, really, really pushing to get. This is hard to dedicate time. Times you get a lot done at freaking eating mayonnaise. Um, Between personal gaming and like multiplayer gaming, or like is your people playing solo? Is this like the personal preference? Like, I think I think one of the things with friend slop games, again, I'm not saying that as a derogatory term. I'm just using saying the cult as multiplayer friend games. But modern friend slop games are, they just have less effort put in as far as polish goes, because they don't need to have that, because the fun of the game is the whole the whole game loop is usually centered around your friends, and so you're getting like experience from playing with people, right? When you have a game that is solo, it kind of has to be at a higher, not quality, but like there needs to be less things that take you out of it. So solo games need to be more immersive because it's just you and your screen. And if there's something taking you out of it constantly, then that could be really. Yeah, there we go. I think the stream cut out for a sec. Hopefully these people are still there. Did you miss the second contest, or is coming up? There's not a second contest. I ate mayonnaise. I would like to do another contest. That would be really, really fun. The only reason I've been a little hesitant is because I haven't implemented either of the winners from the last contest into the game. And so I really want to get their their submissions settled into the game a little bit more, at least an idea. Like right now we have the mysterious vendor, and then the other one was the mysterious vendor. I need to kind of like have a dedicated spot for that NPC, and then I have a whole idea how I want to implement that, but I gotta go. See you later. Building my Lego. Um. Yeah. Anyways, going back to the solo gaming thing. I don't know if that answered your. Anyways, you guys don't have any other major questions about the game, we'll just jump right into it, and I'll keep answering questions as we go. Let me get it booted up here. Be kind of fun. I haven't played Bean Base on stream. I've only played like twice on stream. I'm always embarrassed. I'm like, it's never done. It's not good enough. I'm feeling okay. I really am. Will I make any DLCs with Bean Base? If I do, yeah, so it depends. I want to make DLCs for Bean Base, but at the same time, it really depends on the success of Bean Base. If it amasses a cult following, I have a dedicated fan base of people that are wanting to see more content with Bean Base, but it's not any money, not driving sales. It is just, for lack of a better term, a bad business. I'm gonna have to scrap the project and just go to the next, just because I need to be things that are able to bring in an income, because I got to be able to support my family. It's the whole point of this, right? Yeah, for sure. There's definitely going to be a lot of UI adjustments. That is the biggest thing I've been struggling with. There's a lot of color things that I have a whole spreadsheet. Um, I have a whole spreadsheet on color coding. So everything is actually going to be coded by color. Right now, I'm just throwing things as placeholders, because right now the mayo was horrible. The mayo was horrible. Just to answer your question, it was horrible. Here's proof. Go watch the stream back. Sucked. I might throw up. Um, Everything. I'm very much of the mindset, get the game functioning good, make sure it's fun before it looks good. Because if you can't make it fun and you're relying on the looks of the game for it to be fun, you're already done. I really believe that. I'm not a I'm not an experienced game developer, but I only know that as a dungeon master, that specifically in the arena of making, I've been a dungeon master for like 10 years. You can have really cool minis and you can have really cool battle maps. My favorite combat I've ever played is all Theater of the Mind. That's not because Theater of the Mind is better than having really cool battle maps and stuff. It's just coincidental, because those Theater of the Mind games, just by pure chance, happen to be more uh involved and more fun than other games I've had with battle maps. Because I've had some games where I've had the best battle maps where I spent like 2 weeks making like these minis and crafting everything out of foam, and it's really cool, and there's lights, and I made the we played the game, and it was like a terrible combat. Was terrible. It wasn't fun. No one had fun. But everybody sat down and went, "Oh!" Like everybody reacted seeing the battle map. Like it was cool. But the combat sucked. Combat was just not fun. And so it's like, you can make it polished and polished and polished and polished, but polishing a turd, it's not gonna, it's still a turd, right? So make the game good, then work on, that's like, so not an excuse for me making crappy stuff. So you got suggestions, please throw them my way, because I suck. I suck so bad at UI. Suck at it. If you have suggestions, please. I am all ears, because I do not know what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. So let's go ahead and boot up the game. I'm just playing it in the game engine. We'll see if it crashes. Shouldn't. We'll go on this side. Right here. We'll do that. That should be good for everybody. Have you ever considered working with multiple people on video games? Because I've been asking my friends and they seem interested, so I've been thinking about it a lot recently. Just like I've never worked on someone. I've never worked on a video game with other people before. This is my first game I've ever worked on, so very inexperienced. But what I can tell you is other projects, and I've found that game dev is very similar to just working on any other project. It's just different skill sets and different things. It's I heard this recently on an Instagram video. This guy said, if you work by yourself, you can work more quickly. If you work with people, like with friends or whatever, you can work further, meaning you can get further ahead. And that, I think that's very true. But if you are not, I don't know if that, maybe that answers your question already, but there's just you have to be able to communicate things, and that's really hard. And so like making sure you're communicating effectively, having like a game bible, like with like a master document with all of the steps that you want to take and all that, that's super important. um Honestly, a lot of that is even just having a Google Docs that you're all connected to, like anything to make sure you're checking stuff off, so people aren't working on the same thing at the same time or getting other things done before other things should be done, and then everything's in the weeds. Um, Honestly, the best thing, and I'm just not an experienced game dev, so if anybody disagrees with me on this, say it. I feel like it would be best if you had like one person coding, at least for the main game, and then you had like one person working on art. If you had a couple people working on it, and if you have more than that, then like the second those start overlapping, like you have three people working on coding. Well, now all those three people, it's like who does what, right? And there's a lot to code, so it's like that's not that big of a deal. But also, if you have three artists, you have three people working on the art. You got to really make sure all those art styles go together. Like even me working on Beanbase, you'll see in a second, my art's all over the place. Like it's not perfect all the time. So, anyways, get distracted. New creating user, please enter your name. Scav. I have not. So you go up here and then you talk to this guy. This room is going to get decorated. I apologize, but talk to little potato bean man here. Hello, welcome, Scav. I am the CGE supervisor for this distribution center. A lot of the dialogue is going to feel very sloppy because a lot of this I just slapped together as quickly as possible just to get repetitive stuff in here. I'll go through and actually like grammatically fix it. I see you're new here. Looks like you're pretty comfortable with the lay of the land around here already. Did you want a brief overview on our SOPs? This is funny. Standard operating procedure, SOP. Let's go through the rundown. Actually, looks like the developer of this game hasn't made the tutorial yet. Not sure how I feel about that. Seems like everything I say is already a pre-written script. I won't go this way. I'm not going to read through all this. You can read it if you want, but you can write if you guys have any suggestions, please throw them out here. Obviously, that's not going to be in the final game because I will have a tutorial. But you don't want to make a tutorial before your game's done because your tutorial will change like 20 times. That would be stupid. You wait, the tutorial's like the last thing you make. Your job is Galactic Farmer. You are responsible for fabricating and maintaining your very own space station. We are not held liable for improper use of CGE equipment. Every employee has been instructed and trained in their field. As a Galactic Farmer, you are solely responsible for your station's productivity and well-being. CGE is not responsible for your perceived jumps in time. Due to the nature of space farming, each station undergoes a cryo-freeze, holding the state of you, your crew, and your crops in time. This is to help maximize the efficiency and prevent waste, while each Cridian needs to reset or rest. Sorry, I apologize. I ate mayo and my brain hurts. If you have any further questions or concerns, please see your local supervisor. Phew. Let me set you up with your starting equipment. Here's your very own mining laser, a watering can, and our new state-of-the-art LOAM, localized outpost assembly module. Chimp officials going all out. Give the title screen some proper text, adjusting to its centered. Yes, and that's actually something I have somewhere in here. Actually, I don't have that one made yet. I have that written down. The speech bubble thing. I have emoticons that I'm going to code into the game so as they're talking. Oh, that crap. That's fun. Anyways, last but not least, your very own CGE tablet. And then you get to start with your own plant. These are randomly generated when you start. This needs to change. I have been struggling with how I want the teleporter to look. Don't look at it too hard. But this is the game. This is it pretty much. This little UI thing here, I've just been struggling with to make the gauge look good. This one needs to change too. I just haven't made a gauge for this specifically yet. So, couple cool things since we have played last. Well, not really much different as far as gameplay, but just more polish, I guess. Not polish. There has been no polishing. I lie. There we go. There's a new asteroid. There's asteroids. Each asteroid color gives you obviously a different type of what do you call it? Resource. This is the newest one. I got to redo the texture for this, but we have radite, which is it's basically uranium. That's kind of the idea of it. But if you melt this down, you can get polymer resin, which is how you make plastic, which you'll use to make different types of what do you call it? Dude, it's hard to talk after the freaking it's actually the only thing I'm going to push back on you, chimp. Not all items have an outline, and that's strategic. Visually, the players do not have an outline. It looks like it. Like certain things do and certain things don't. The asteroids, honestly, if you have a suggestion, we'll see you later, Risky Duck. If you have suggestions on what I should do for the asteroids, because right now they're randomly generated polygons. They're right now randomly generated polygons, and so it is really hard to like they make sense right now, and I like the shape of them and stuff, but they don't really fit like the pixel art feel of the game because they're literally just random polygons. I don't know if that matters because I like how they look, but I also want some texture to them. But the second I start adding texture and I start making individual like asteroid sprites, it's going to start feeling really repetitive. And so I like the fact that they're randomly generated with a script because it's just random every single time. So what is hard in the very beginning of the game is getting materials. And that's something I'm trying to work out is what stuff do you start with? Which stuff don't you start with? every time you like use a little burst like that, you lose a little bit of your air. That's how you use your jetpack. Like right now, I'm already at 0. But the feature is if a large asteroid strikes your base. So right now we have a little radar. We don't have any incoming events. This is going to all change. Dude, I'm not getting any of the... there we go. There's one. 2 ore chunks. Great. If a large asteroid strikes the base, then it will break it. Which you now make repair kits, and so you can actually repair it. And when they break, you get some of your items back. I'm glad you like the planets. Those were hard to make, but I had a lot of fun trying to do this. Oh, I just ran out of air. I'm planning on giving the player a lot more air. The beginning of the game right now is really hard to get started because you don't really have much. You don't have very many materials to work with, and you just run out of air so fast. It's so hard to like get going. Really was the best way. Gimme. Don't overheat. It's just such a grind in the beginning of the game. So I'm trying to figure out, like, should I increase and have more asteroids hitting the base? I think I might do that just because it is so hard to get asteroids coming to your base to actually mine them. Or starting off the player with more material to work with right off the bat. So now, oh, I died. So now, because I got the CO2 emitter to start working, we can actually breathe in here, so we won't die as much. The percentage, that's so funny. The little percentage bar has been a bug, a visual bug that I made in the game like week 1, and I just have refused to change it because it irritates people to look at, and I think it's funny. I will change it before the game is released, but there's a late game item in here. The mining cannon, you need a lot of different things for it, but the mining cannon is like game changer, dude. Maybe towards the end here, I'll cheat one in. We'll try to get one legit. They're really hard to get a hold of, though. but it is counting up. It's counting up the percentage of how much the asteroid is destroyed. I haven't decided if that makes more sense, is how much the percentage of the asteroid that is destroyed, or if the asteroid has health that is decreasing. I don't know what makes more sense. In the future, the bar is not going to twist with it. That's what's glitching out. It's just going to be horizontal on the screen the whole time. It's just one of those, like, I can read it, so I haven't changed it. Oh, inventory's full. Well, when in doubt, drop it on the ground. I had an auto clicker. Make the emitter matter relative to the size of your base. So that's something like in the code, like that's something I struggled with like a lot, is trying to figure out how to actually make the CO2 emitter work. Or at the time it was the oxygenator, but the game needs to test for a solid room. And once there is a solid room, the game seals that room. If the player's in a sealed room and it has a CO2 emitter, or at the time it was an oxygenator, it does a flood test in the room to make sure there's a certain amount of tiles in there, and then it's good. If the room is, I don't have like a detection system to see if the room itself, if the flood test is too big, then it just fails the test. It's kind of one of those things that's like hard to figure out. So right now, just in the game, if you have a sealed room, you just need one CO2 emitter and it'll take care of a whole sealed room for you. Well, the only reason that I don't want to give out just like what I could do is I could start out with the CO2 emitter has starting resources in it to get you started. That's not a bad idea. Later, I do kind of want to implement, like, there's like a little starting chest that gives you a couple more items as like a starting gift. But I also want to add like junk and stuff to make like your station dirty, so you have to go and clean up your station. I think that'd be kind of fun. Cleaning is fun. I have like these things in my head, and it's just hard to like keep track of all of them. I constantly am forgetting, like, oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I gotta do this. It's so hard. But I do like the idea of just starting off the CO2 emitter with just automatically starting it with some resources. I don't mind that idea, actually. Oh, what? Gotta drop this stuff on the ground again. It doesn't, so there's a glitch. The hotbar and the inventory are viewed as two separate inventory, like player inventory things. And so auto filling up your inventory, it doesn't calculate your hotbar. And so that's a glitch I need to change. The hotbar should be calculated with your inventory. 62 refined metal. I was like, what? It's glitching it out. So we can do floor panel or wall panel. I'm gonna do floor panels. Well, I'm gonna kind of do the thing that Minecraft does too, where you can single click or you can shift click and it does the max. But I like the idea of it there being a couple different buttons, like a +5 or +10, if you didn't want to do all of it. But I wanted to like shift click the arrow, and then that would do all of your items. The I don't mind that idea actually. The only thing about adding more buttons is just the tablet is so small, and so the more buttons you add is just like more, you know, square footage or square inch that it takes up on screen. Bruh. See, like I said, this beginning of the part of the game is kind of a grind. There is a part, and this is what I'm trying to figure out, is I don't want the beginning of the game to feel like forever to just get established. I want it to kind of be like you hit boots on the ground and you can just start moving. The idea for the tablet is it's just your overall way that your character interacts with different machines. So kind of like similar to like if you were trying to like hook up a modern 3D printer like this guy right here. Um, you for most people you have an app on your phone, and then that's how you navigate fixing all the settings on that printer. Or like a Cricut, like if you have a Cricut cutter, or just like a lot of modern 2D paper printers too. And so I kind of was like, why don't I just do that? That would make more sense. Because my original idea was to have um, a higher res image of that machine kind of appear on screen. And I drew one, and it just didn't look right. But the tablet is just such a cool look, and it's kind of unique. And so I just really wanted to keep that. At least that was the idea. So, oop, did not mean to do that. It's super fun, and later too. Let me finish. When these are done smelting, we'll go. There's a new UI. It's Don't judge it too hard, because I literally made it last night in like 20 minutes. But there's a shop UI. So in the over in this area. We need more carbon because we keep running out of. Oh, you freaking turd. Oh. And I did think about that, the space not having sound and stuff. Um I have not worked on any sound design for the game. I'm not making excuses. So I haven't thought about it really that hard. But honestly, as realistic as it is, one of this is something because I'm a science nerd too. one of the things I heard this from it was someone talking about marketing a game, but basically I like that crafting idea a lot. Somebody was talking about like coming up with game ideas in general to like push just whatever, right? And they were saying that if you're making a game and like a core function of your game is being hindered because you're trying to make a game realistic and it's just making your game less fun, that's not a good enough reason. Like realism is not a good enough reason to make a game less fun. Now there are certain games that is important, but also the guy's whole point of this is the title of this section of his seminar was called double jumps don't exist in real life. And it's true. It's just not possible for you to go boing boing like it says. He can't. This is not possible. But if you got rid of double jumps in a lot of games, it would be really stupid. You need the double jump, right? Super important for a lot of games. But if it wasn't realistic, we wouldn't use them, right? So don't let realism get in the way of something that is going to make your game fun, if that makes sense. And there's been a ton of things like that in my game. Like I had to really there's a lot of random science things even with the CO2 emitter. Um dude, Chimp, it's so funny, dude. Like a lot of the ideas that you're coming up with, I'm like, I actually have that written down in a notebook. It's not drone workers. That's actually not a bad idea because they do have like robot droid NPCs in the game already. But later in the game, you can hire other workers to go and then you assign them to different machines so they'll automatically harvest things. Because I was really wanted to make like automatic like hopper dispenser tracks, kind of like you have in Minecraft or like something in like Factorio. But then I didn't want to overcomplicate the game too much. Because I just don't want it to be overwhelming. And I was like, oh, what if we just had workers that you assign and then you just give them 2 points. They grab items from here. They grab items from here, and then they drop them off here. That's it. And then just but then you can only assign them to like 2 or 3 machines at a time. And I felt like that would be a lot less intrusive, but also would give life to the base because it's like things are moving around or whatever. Um. So, anyways, going back to the sorry, I have so many thoughts in my head, and the mayo's really kicking in. Did I not start this? I thought I did. Before we leave and go back to the thing, the sounds in Star Wars, or in space. Star Wars is a great example of if we didn't care about there's other things to giving life to the base. There's sorry, I'm like super distracted right now. My stomach hurts so bad from that. Uh, I need freaking more refined metal. Um, if Star Wars had no sound in those shots, like all you would hear is like you would only hear noises like from the inside of a ship when something would hit the outside. Like that would create a sound because you're hearing the vibration and you're hearing all like the air particulates vibrate through your ship, right? Um but you need you need sound in the game. But I do like the idea of it being slightly muffled. or like a variation of all the sounds. I really like that idea. Sorry, I just had a crazy thought. All of the sounds, because you not hearing sounds in space isn't technically true. It like I've never been to space, obviously, because I am not that wealthy. Um, sorry, I'm like super ADD right now. That gave me such a good idea. So you would still hear sounds, but only interacting with things that you're physically touching, because it would freaking um it would vibrate through your suit, right? So if you are in a space suit and you grab something, you would hear the sound travel through your hand. Not much, but slightly. If we exaggerated that concept to this game, basically what would happen is all the sounds of like the uh the asteroids hitting the base, that little sound, those would just, if you are in space in zero gravity, those go away instantly. If you're standing inside your base, you would hear those sounds. I don't care if it's not like you're not in the air or whatever everything. Yes, your suit's pressurized. So if if your character bumps into an asteroid, you would hear a sound. If you fire your gun, you're holding the gun, you would hear that sound. Also something to do with the science of like the energy coming from your freaking suit or whatever, right? And if all those sounded slightly different than everything else, that would be perfect. Emlyn, it essentially would be a sound filter, but I'm even talking about completely redesigning the sound like from the start, like completely eliminating certain sounds. Like you would not hear the outsides, you would not hear the asteroids hitting the base the second you were outside. Period. They're just gone. Those just would completely disappear. Um, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I like that idea. Sorry, I'm not even working on sound design yet. You guys are getting me too far in the weeds a different way. All right, we're going here. It's full. Who the frick designed this game? You can upgrade your inventory, by the way. Um, does that say place? My freaking fat thumb's in the way. Place 30 tiles or objects. How much is it to get the first tier? 10 tokens? Shoot. So there's a whole skill tree essentially. This is super crude. This is something I'm going to need symbols and like tracking things and whatever. But basically this is going to be for players that need like more encouragement, that just can't come up with creative things to do in the game. This is like a physical roadmap on like things that you can unlock. So you'll be able to unlock different tiers in your inventory, your build radius, your mining speed, your station strength. All these things is like you can only build so far away from the center of your base, right? Um, your mining speed is how fast you mine. Your inventory, you can gain more inventory slots. You're basically gonna talk to what's his name from Breath of the Wild? Oh, what's his name? Not Deku. What's his name? The guy from Breath of the Wild, the maracas. Oh, it's gonna bug me. What's the name of that guy? I am still gonna have it. So if a Hetsu, thank you. Oh, Hetsu, thank you. Oh, was gonna have an aneurysm, dude. Dude, I almost had it, man. I was so, dude, seriously, that was on the tip of my tongue. Swear to God. All right. Y'all, I'm getting really distracted. Get this freaking resin out of my body. If you leave items on the ground and then you leave, they'll despawn. So, that's where I'm kind of like, I'm trying to get this, I need a little bit more stuff. Oh, you freaking dirtbag. There we go. So this is a strat that I found. I freaking ate the mayo, dude. What are you talking about? I ate the whole thing. Go back and watch the stream. I almost threw up twice. I ate the whole freaking thing. Oh, that's the end of the thing right there. A strat that I say I came up with it. I'm the freaking developer. Of course I came up with it. I didn't mean to. It just kind of happened. But, oh, I died right there. Of course. That yellowish goo. Dude, it's just liquid. It's like the little juice that was left over. It's probably the freaking oil, dude. I'm not doing that. No way. I'm done, dude. You eat freaking 336 grams of avocado mayo. Not doing it. I'm done. I did my job. I did my part. Stupid strat, but this is something I feel like people are gonna do, and I encourage it. Is staying out here. Phew. I sneezed. Staying out here to harvest asteroids, like making bridges and stuff outside, is a great way to stay close. I had an idea early on in development to create some sort of, it was going to be a gravity well that would attract nearby asteroids and then they'd kind of collect around it. But the idea of just like a tiny magnet that would snap like one asteroid to it, and if you got lucky, you get a big asteroid, and if you get unlucky, it's just a tiny little guy. So it's kind of a luck of the draw, but still helps players farm that. Ooh! Y'all, you got to see a rare drop. We got gold. That has a chance of dropping. A 5% chance of dropping. I have to sneeze again. Yawn. We'll work something out. Anyways, it's kind of like the start of the game just takes so long to get started, but you can kind of see I'm really distracted right now. Like I'm not really that focused on it, but you can kind of see like the second that you start gaining some items, you can actually start moving things around a little bit more quickly, and it's just easier to move. We haven't even started farming yet. There's just so much to do. So I should. Okay. There we go. Finally. We made chests. So now that we got those there, yeah, we'll go check out the little shop for now. Now that I have the chests, I can actually like focus now. I don't have to worry about my inventory filling up every 10 seconds. It's kind of the main area. I just have, these are all placeholder NPCs. The idea is that every day you log on, there's going to be different NPCs in here. Kind of like Animal Crossing, where you just get randomly generated like villagers. But these guys will randomly spawn, and then they'll stick around for like 3 or 4 days, and then you'll get a new citizen and whatnot. These guys have, some of them have some pretty funny dialogue. Nice. Thanks, Edgar. You could turn the square chest into a half square shelf. Not a bad idea. So this is the shop. It's got to be a little bit more decorated. Like I said, I just made all this in like 30 minutes. I don't like the zoom in with this. It feels like I'm playing Jeopardy. Like, watch. What is a robot? I miss Alex Trebek. Ooh, that's not good. Should have tested that last night. This is what I get for trying to speedrun making it in 30 minutes. It's completely locked out. Well, you get the idea of what it's supposed to look like. So the idea of what you're looking at is this little screen right here on the table. So I got to do a little bit more work to make it look like that, but that's the idea. Then over here we got the comedy club. And you better know it, I am going to write stand-up for the NPCs to perform. I want to slip in a couple Norm Macdonald jokes, but I don't know if I'll get in trouble for... I don't know if I'll get in trouble for stealing other comedians' jokes. I just love Norm. I think it would be funny. So to answer your question, what are you buying? So the idea is when you sell, so the whole point of this game is, like you saw in the beginning, you're a farmer. So your whole goal is to build a base sufficient enough to farm, right? If you sell crops, you get money. Those credits that you get paid for, you can spend at that shop. As far as the station upgrades, those are actually things that you have to unlock with, essentially, for lack of a better term, a reputation that you get with the company that you're working for. And so right now they're just called tokens. They'll be called something else later. The idea of the shop is it's essentially like somewhere you can just spend your credits. You don't need, the way I'm building the game is you do not need to actually go to the shop to buy anything. You could play the entire game without buying anything or spending 1 credit. The benefit it's going to give you is just time. It's the same thing as in real life. So, like, I'm the type of person, I like to make everything. I do not like spending money on things. I like I if it's something I can make, I would rather make it than buy it. That's just how I am. But with there's certain people that just aren't that way in real life, and there's certain people that don't play games like that in real life. So that's where I wanted to make the shop something that the player could just buy resources from if they didn't want to collect them. So if they didn't want to collect resources by mining or just other means of harvesting other resources that you get in the game, you can just go buy them from a shop. So for example, like one of the things is dirt bags. You can buy bags of dirt from the shop, which is definitely easier. It's a lot less labor intensive. Or you can make your own dirt bags from the stuff that you find in space. The problem with making bags of dirt, and we'll get into this later, I'll show you. This is where my science brain gets going. You have this item called regolith right here. Stale dirt. It's literally what it is. Regolith is a real thing that is basically a fancy term for stale dirt that's found on things in space, like asteroids in space, or it's also found on the moon. It's just dirt that has no bacteria in it. And so if you were to try to plant plants with that, if you're talking like cosmetic things you want to buy, that's where the NPCs are going to come in. So NPCs will actually trade with you for certain things. So if you want upgrades, you actually go to the supervisor for that. And so actually we can do that. There's a whole way that works right now. So right now, I don't think we have any tokens unlocked. Oh, who the frick made this game? My tokens bar is off to the side there. I don't think we have any tokens unlocked. Do we? There is actually, so there are certain fertilizers that you'll be able to buy that you can only get from the shop or trading or doing like quests for NPCs. So there's one called golly worms. Those do exist in the game right now. There's just no way to obtain them. But if you were to plant golly worms on top of your any one of your plants, it would boost how fast they grow, but you lose a little bit of the quantity. So if you're trying to get something quick, it'll grow quicker, but you'll lose some of the crops. And it actually is written into the lore of the game too, which is kind of fun. But so right here, we go back to this guy. I know that none of this is explained very well, but it will be later. You can just go straight to talk to him about station upgrades here. Fill out this paperwork and apply for which station upgrade you'd like. So enter your name, and then you can apply for which station upgrade you want. Obviously, we'll just go for inventory. We don't have any tokens unlocked, and so this is something I really wanted to do in the game because Animal Crossing has weird stuff like this too, and I just find it funny. It's like kind of realistic to me too. You can apply for this even though you don't have any tokens. Have you enjoyed the token program with the CGE? Yes, I have enjoyed it. And then you have to sign your name, so you actually have to fill out the freaking paperwork. So I'll just do my real signature like that. Perfect. If you write something, I haven't coded that in, but I do want to put it like if you don't actually put your player name, it'll basically remove. It'll basically just send you back a application that says we don't have a member in our system with that name. I just think it would just be kind of funny. So right now, if we go to our messages, we have one message that we sent out. We requested the inventory thing, and then it puts our signature in there. And then the supervisor told us by the time we get back, he'll review it and see if we get accepted in that application or not. We got a new message from the supervisor now that we're back here. So you could see, hey, Scav, unfortunately, your application for inventory tier 1 was denied. Missing requirements 10 or more tokens. Have 0, you need 10. Feel free to apply again once you have enough. See you soon, supervisor. So obviously that's all. We'll tweak it, make it a little bit more fun, but it's the idea. Oh, this is don't drop it because it's if your CO2 emitter fills up with hydrogen, because science, we'll get into science. What's carbon made of? Molecularly. It's very easy. It's made of carbon. That's it. It's really nothing else. Once you refine it down to the carbon, it's just carbon. It's carbon, 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 carbon. That's it. You put water in here. What's water made of? H2O. Hydrogen and water. That's it. How do you get CO2? Well, you need carbon and oxygen. Well, here's the problem. What do you do with all the leftover hydrogen? Well, that's what this system does, is it sifts out all the hydrogen from the water, extracts the oxygen, and so you're just combining the carbon and the oxygen, leaving you left with only hydrogen. So what happens is you get this like slough of extra hydrogen. If you don't drain the hydrogen tank, it will explode. And I hope there's going to be videos of people that forget to do that when the game's released. Like, I can't wait for a streamer to play the game and they like leave and then they come back up and all of a sudden the whole thing like I've been working on this little like tiny explosion animation. It's just gonna be funny. They're just like, what happened? The other thing too, just kind of like in Minecraft, the beds in the Nether, they explode. I just think that's so funny. Here in the description, I made a joke about it where it says liquid hydrogen in its purest form. Don't drop it. My brother was playing the game and he was like, not a nuclear explosion, but it would blow like this whole section of the station out and all of your objects around it too, which would kind of set you back, which would really suck. The game is designed to be single player. I'm getting a lot of requests for multiplayer. If it is going to be multiplayer, the idea is it's just going to be so you can visit someone else's base. Kind of like the same way Animal Crossing is. So like Animal Crossing is a single player game, but you can go visit somebody else's island or their town, whatever game you were playing at the time. So that's kind of the idea. But my brother was playing and the description for hydrogen says liquid hydrogen in its purest form. Don't drop it. Well, you can literally drop items. And so he was like, oh, if I drop this, will it explode? And then I was like, no. And I was like, I should do that. Like, if you drop hydrogen, it should just freaking explode on the ground right underneath you. I think that'd be so funny. And then if someone gets mad at it, it's like, dude, the game tells you don't drop it. You dropped it. I just love weird stuff like that. So you can put it in a chest. You can leave it off to the side. You can do whatever you want with it. But so the only thing about I just don't, especially nowadays, as controversial as this is, I don't want to make a game with public lobbies, at least not for this game. Um, I'm just not an experienced enough coder to make something safe for people to play, if that makes sense. And so if I do make a multiplayer game, I kind of want to make it up to the discretion of the players of the game to deem who they play with. So that way it's like, hey, you were playing with a sketchy dude, that's on you, dude, you know? But if I make public lobbies that people play on, then I I would feel somewhat responsible if there was like a predator in the thing and I don't have a way to like monitor that. I don't know if that makes sense or not. And so that's been my only like standoffish like feeling of making this game that way. Also, because this game is very wholesome, if there are kids playing this game, that's another reason I wouldn't want to make public lobbies. Um, but I don't really have an issue with someone wanting to visit another player's base. Um, the lore is going to be pretty easy for it too, because the reason we have these teleporters, I can't get into a lore dump. I don't know. I have so much lore for the game. Dude, my stomach hurts. Yeah, see that we just gained more hydrogen there. Did I just find a glitch? The heck did I gain that much? I guess I was talking too long, huh? Alrighty, so there's also another glitch that sometimes um we have random events that will randomly spawn. Sometimes they just don't happen. Like when you log in for that game, like if I were to quit the game and then reboot it, there's a much higher chance that an asteroid will hit very quickly. But there's sometimes I log in and I'll play this for like 2 hours and I won't get one event happening. Because right now we have a radiation storm event and we have the large asteroid swarm event where the big asteroids will hit your base and break it. Sometimes they just don't happen at all. Like at all, at all, at all. It's super weird. Gotta grab ice. Anyways, we're getting distracted. Ah, that was violent. There goes my E rating. So there is a, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's been a while. Um, it's basically, it's a rant. It's just completely random. So when the first, it's dependent on when the last event happened. So once the first event happens or the first event has been scheduled, the next event after that is planned. So it's just planning one at a time or two at a time rather. But sometimes when you boot up a game, the first one doesn't get planned. And so it just doesn't ever happen. So the and then after each one is planned, there's just like a random amount of time that I think it's anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I have it set to something really simple like that. It's been a while. that will just randomly cycle that. But as far as like a trigger goes, the initial trigger, it's just like I don't know why it sometimes doesn't spawn. It was one of those things where I made it so early on, and I really I just don't remember. I need to go back and look at it. I haven't changed it. Shame on me. Bad game dev. Bad. Too many things in my head. Too much mayo in my freaking gullet. Nope. I'm gonna do water. If it's triggered off of something, I don't think it should be triggered off of something like crops being harvested, because some players just aren't into stuff like that, and so there's like a lot of random like furniture and stuff in the game that you want to unlock too for like decoration. So there's some players that are only going to care about that. Oh, we're gonna die. I died. There we go. What I've been looking for. Yeah, I just feel like these asteroids are just way too blank. They just need more, they just need something more. I don't know what it is. Ba, 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 ba. Come on, one more. Give me that. Ah. There's a glitch on screen. Don't look at it. Here we go. All right. Oh. We just need more stuff. More stuff. But you can see why like something like a shop would be nice, because there's so much of this that like if you wanted to save your money, you could, or you could spend your credits in the game to buy these materials that you need to kind of get started, so you can just skip this step if you wanted to. Or if you're a player that's like wants to save them up so you can spend them on furniture or other decorative items with NPCs, kind of up to you. What do you want to spend your money on? Which is not implemented in the game yet. Nope. So Nah. All right, we're out of floor panels now. So one of the things that does get kind of tricky with spawning asteroids, not tricky, it's just the way that I designed it. All the asteroids' initial like velocity in like the direction they're going is dependent on the player where they're at when that asteroid spawns. So if the player is here at this point in time and the asteroid spawns here, it's going to loosely shoot itself in that direction of the player there. But if the player's here, the asteroid spawns right here. So like, see, this asteroid's coming right at me. And now I'm going to die. That's a great example. It's just coming right at me. So if it's here, this is the asteroid. Here's the player. This player is standing here. When the asteroid spawns, it's going to start coming at me here, but it spawns really far away. So as it's coming in, if I move this way, the asteroid is going to completely miss me. And so that's why sometimes when you even move, not even that, like the base isn't really that big. Like the map is huge. When you even move just a little bit, you'll feel like you're missing a lot of the asteroids because a lot of them just spawned in to go to that initial velocity, or sorry, a lot of them spawned in to go at that location, and then you're just gone. Is that a mini tomato? It's a D20, a Dungeons and Dragons dice, 20-sided dice. Whap. It does kind of look like a tomato. I should have tomato dice. That'd be kind of funny. So oh, I'm an idiot. We can't do that yet. So I can't even remember. I have McDonald's dice. They're not this house right now. They're at somewhere else. So I want to make. Dude, why can I not remember? Freaking mayo's in my head, dude. So we need a whole plate carbon and refined metal to make a garden box. So now we need. We're going to cancel that. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of carbon instead. It's just like playing Minecraft sometimes where you're just waiting for stuff in your furnace and you're just like, dude, I can't progress. I need these items. Can't do anything. There we go. Cool. Now we can start cooking. Beautiful. So now here's the crappy part. I just created a paradox. We found our first game-breaking bug, everybody. This game is the best. Here's the bug. You need we start with one. So you can, it's hard to explain. You can make a second floor would be kind of cool. That's not a bad idea, actually. That's like a station upgrade is to get like a second level. Maybe that's a future DLC. Scope creep. Anyways, so in order to make dirt, you need compost. In order to make compost, you need organic matter to break down to create compost. You're starting. I don't know why this is doing this. It should give you 3 seeds to start, but it just gave me 1. You need organic matter to create compost. The compost crafted with the regolith item is what it's used to make dirt. But you can't get the compost because you don't start with any organic matter. You can't make more organic matter by growing crops because you don't have dirt. And you don't have dirt because it doesn't have it. You can't go buy dirt because the shop is broken. But even if you could buy it, you should be able to harvest it yourself. So in order to start the game, or in order to play the game properly, pretty much you would need to have in your station already set up with crops. I think that's what's going to make Bean Base more fun. Because I just spent, how long have we been streaming? I don't even know how long we've been streaming. I've been playing this for a while now, and I don't even have crops planted yet. And so that's going to really burn some people out and really confuse some people too. But if you can just immediately just boots on the ground, get going to make crops, so at least you can kind of get stuff playing, that is what you need. Oh, did you see what happened? Did you guys see what happened? I was like, because we haven't been getting any asteroid events. Did you see what happened? What I didn't do? Let's see if anybody notices it. Well, I'm not even thinking like must-have items, but like, yep, CO2 emitter's gone. It exploded because I wasn't watching it. All right, let's see what we need to craft a new one. CO2 emitter. We need a processing chip, refined metal, and plastic panels. I thought I could craft a processing panel or processing chip. Well, poop. All right, we're cheating it in. Okay. I gave myself a processing chip. All right, so what else do you need? Processing chip, plastic panel, refined metal. Cool. So we need to get our resin. What am I missing? Oh, I need an air filter. Stupid. Do I need more carbon than that? 2 carbon, 1 refined metal. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking for like a tutorial, and that's why you can opt out of the tutorial or start in the tutorial. We'll also like give you like what your starter base looks like. I only had to cheat in one thing to make it possible. Interesting. The frick? Why can't I place it right there? All right, I guess you're going there. Whatever. Frickin'. I don't know why it's not placing right there. All right, so back to what I was saying before I frickin' screwed myself. In order to get started, we need dirt. So we're gonna cheat it in. Give dirt. Give us 4 bags of dirt just to get started. Well, the way that these aren't, so what blocks these from being placed down, the way I coded it, is if its hitbox is interacting with any other hitbox that isn't a floor tile. So that's why it can kind of overhang up here, because like, see this little black shadow? It's not perfect, but that's kind of where the hitbox is. But it shouldn't, like the difference between this square and this square shouldn't matter. I can't move it now because I just put items in there and it will delete the items. It's another thing I got to figure out. All right, so just going to fill that one up with some dirt, and we're going to plant our 1 seeds. It's very precious. Don't screw it up. Then obviously it's not watered, so we need to water it. I think onions take a while to grow too. So there we go. And now we wait for it to grow. Stupid. But even just like having like a starter thing of like preset, like I don't know. I kind of like what Chimp was saying about like giving the player tasks. Maybe you're right actually. I just saw your message about it didn't replace the logic after it was being destroyed. I don't have another item I could place down though. We'll remove this guy. See that? Chimp, you were 100% correct. There was an invisible CO2 emitter there. When it blows up, it doesn't remove it. Even though there's nothing there. Good call. The plants have growth textures, kind of like I kind of loosely based it off of Minecraft, where it's just like there's 3 growth stages. So there's like little seedling, and then there's like it grown. Yeah, it's like baby, teenager, adult. It's kind of like the plant. But what I don't want is because like when I watch people play test the game a while ago, they had rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of crops, you know, and if there was like a bunch of icons, it would look like a 3D printer farm. So it's just like a bunch of like green bars above everything. Oh, we're running out of atmosphere. That's not good. No bueno. We need carbon. So they appear relative to your distance just as like I don't think it would look bad actually. So you'd have to look right at the crop though. Cuz I feel like if it was like a proximity thing, it would just kind of look like this like it would almost be like overstimulating. Like you'd have to like cuz see like the door is a proximity thing. So when you're within a certain distance whether you're facing the door or not, the E appears, which I'm getting rid of by the way. That's not staying. Cuz I hate it. I freaking hate this. I hate the E. Because the E is different. See how that one doesn't have brackets? That one does. I don't know why I did that. But then if you could stand like this, you got it. Yeah, I totally agree. It would be very cluttered. That's why I never thought of it, but I never thought about you just like looking right at it. The build UI is something I need to really work on because it is just it's just what I'd really like is for something to kind of appear over the screen like a hologram looking thing. And so you're placing it down like a hologram and then it places it. Because all this is just done in code. This one's not bad. You get your little radius to build with, or to shoot with. I overheated it. Come on. Oh, missed it. Grid. Oh, like a grid. Well, the grid changes too. So, objects have a subgrid. So, like for example, you saw when I was placing down these objects. If I place down like a fabricator like this, I can place it down in between these tiles. And I did that because when you have furniture like chairs or whatever, having it better orientation of where to flip them and stuff like that is just gives the player way more freedom to build with. So the grid would have to change because if you're building with an object like this, you're going to get in the subgrid of like a 16 by 16 grid. That's what this is. But if you build with, say, the floor tiles or the wall tiles, those are on a 32 by 32 grid. And you can't set a wall tile in between two wall tiles. Those are just rigid. Those are there, period. Just the wall, the auto snapping, like, it was way too hard to do. Oh, dude, my back is so tight. But I do like that idea because then it visually shows your whole screen like you are in a build mode. And it'd be kind of cool to have like some sort of like ripple like effect, or it like glitches out and like stutters. Chimp, you are making my brain freaking go, dude. I wish I didn't eat mayo today because I'd be a lot sharper right now. I feel so like right now. I feel so sick. A plant has withered. This game sucks, dude. Shoot. I just found a way you literally could soft lock your entire game. Not quite. I guess that's not true. Because the freaking dang it, dude. Blame the dev. It's your fault. This is your fault. Dude. Shoot. So, okay. I'm trying to think. So every time something like this happens that's super frustrating, I think about like, okay, is that gonna just completely, have I completely screwed a player? Is a if this were to happen to a player, are they just done? Like, because I can get out of this with commands, right? Good call. Good call, Matthias. Why is there a Notification when a plant withers, but not when a plant grows. It's not a bad call at all. It's not a, because then if you get, yeah, I mean that's why I'm doing a stream. I'll go back and watch this stream and like do it. I don't actually, so something I need to do is I actually need to sit and play the game more. But the problem is like I every time I edit one of these things, like a dialogue tree or something like that, the game just gets to an unplayable state. And so I try to get the game into like a playable state to something like this, so then I can play it for a couple hours and then go, cool, the game sucks. Well, I will, dude. I'm crazy, man. The last time I did this, I rewatched it like 5 times. Literally, I watch it while I'm at work. At least I listen to it, so I go back and I can hear my frustrations and stuff. I used to do that with D&D games. Super helpful as a DM. If you record your games, and then if you have the time to go and listen to them, at least you're good. No, it's just all me. Just me and my dumb brain. Good dough. My wife does the capsule art for our Steam page, and then I do the pretty much everything else. All right, so instead of moping, let's problem solve here. So this one happened. So the first issue was because it's not even, the first issue wasn't even really a soft lock. Well, it was. It not by definition, because it's just the game isn't finished yet, and it should have, you should be able to have access to a shop. This one's a soft lock because, well, even then you still should have credits to go buy another seed. So you technically not soft locked. It just really screws you. But what can we do to prevent the player from having this situation? Matthias's idea of just the player gets a notification when a plant is fully grown. And maybe that's a setting in your tablet. Like maybe we have a settings tablet, a notifications tab that the player can control to turn off that or not, because that might get really annoying over time, especially if you have like 500 plants or whatever, and then you're like all of them start growing at once, and then your notifications are just constantly going off. Like that would just be so annoying. The second problem was because the plant withered away, I don't have any seeds now. I don't have any seeds to continue growing, and the shop is broken, so I can't organically in the game without buying anything, which you can't because the shop's closed. I can no longer play the game. I can't grow seeds. I ran out of my one seed because it withered away. Because when a plant dies, you're screwed. You're just done. All you get is the waste remains of the plant, which is going to be a strategic move too, because these plant clippings can be used as compost. There's an organic material, so you can put these in a composter. So technically, the fix here is just I need to get another seed, but there's no way to naturally get a seed in the game as of right now. There will be in the final game. Embarrassing. Really, the thing I think that's going to really help this is having a better starter base. Something with a lot more something with a lot more, like maybe even a starter chest with the garden boxes already set. Well, the starter base doesn't solve this problem, but it would make this problem less likely to happen in the first place. But the thing that solves this problem is just having, because essentially accidents are going to happen. And that's part of this game, is that you could just accidentally get screwed by just not paying attention. And we don't really want to do that to the player all the time, but also just stuff happens. Minecraft's the same way. You sometimes a creeper spawns in your house. And there's ways to prevent it, but it's happened to all of us. You know, sometimes you fall in the end in a hardcore world and it sucks. You just lost everything. But with you don't want something like that happening early on in this game. And this isn't a cozy game, but it is definitely less like intense than other games. And so I want it to be a little bit more relaxed. So really the solution to the plant problem here of if you have a plant that withers away and you lose all your seeds because you weren't paying attention and whatever, you need. I could make it so like the first 5 plants just don't wither away. That's not a bad idea. I just don't. I don't know why. I don't like. I don't like. Maybe I just need to get over it, but I don't like nuance like that. I like if I'm solving a problem, I don't really like one-off solutions like that because just something that it'll be something that's I don't know how to describe this, and I don't not really against it, but something that will be exploited later. But I'm all for players trying to exploit things. Hmm. I don't feel good. Freaking mayo sucks, dude. So that with that last suggestion you have, my brain instantly starts going to like real life, and I start going to science stuff. And I know I contradict myself because I say I don't. You don't want your reasons to be 100% realistic if it makes the game less fun. But at the same time, I feel like there needs to be a balance between the two. But at the same time, if you have a plant that withers away, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to get a seed back on every single one. Just one seed for that one plant that you lost. So all you're losing is time and the dirt that you lose when you have to harvest the plant because you lose one dirt per plant to pull the thing out. So the worst thing you'd lose is dirt, which theoretically you should be able to recover with your plant clippings to at least plant some stuff back. Yeah, because at least you like the thing you lose is dirt, which you can get more of, and you can get your seed back, which is great. So you're good. That's you lose dirt, but the other thing you lose is just the time to grow it in the first place. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like that a lot. The other thing that oh man, I just had it in my head. Dude, that mayo freaking screwed me up, dude. I feel so sick. Oh man. Yeah, because that solves that problem. I mean, you still might have the issue of just like running out of dirt. No, for sure. Well, that's where like because like that's one thing I've kind of realized with like game development. I mean, not that I've made a finished game yet, but like I feel like I'm idiot proofing stuff. I feel like that's 90% of it is just like, is this idiot proof for basic things? Obviously, there are certain things in games that are like this is a base building game. It's not a puzzle game. You're not here to like solve problems as far as like how do I do that? Like the game should be able to figure that out for you, and you should have a roadmap on how you want to accomplish these things. Redstone in Minecraft is a great example of this. Redstone just works. And as you learn more about the items, the redstone just works. There's nothing game breaking about Minecraft Redstone as itself. It used to be, but it's better. It's a lot better now. And so if you give the player the roadmap and you say, "Hey, look, you have to create your own thing. However you want to make it, that's up to you to figure out. But here's how it's intended to be made." You're good. So by idiot proofing it, you do that. So I really like that idea. You get your seed back if your plant withers away. So at least you're not screwing yourself. Well, so that's the other issue is actually creating dirt. And this is where my science brain, I can't let, there's certain things I just can't let go. Um, so if you were to take this, just, we're not talking video game stuff, real life. And I know I'm contradicting what I said earlier about real life versus making games fun, but there's both that need to be thought about. If I were to take dirt from the moon and bring it to Earth in a vacuum, and then I were to put it in a sealed room with no bacteria in it, and then I brought a plant and I planted it in that dirt, it would not grow. It would die because the soil in the moon, even in the moon dust and the moon dirt, by every molecular, it's the same as Earth dirt. There's almost no difference. It's a little bit difference in color, but it's kind of bleached, but that's about it. The difference is that it doesn't have bacteria. It's just dead. It's stale dirt, for lack of a better term. And it's like, this is all super stupid stuff, but I loved this in The Martian. Like, that's why I loved The Martian. Yep. You beat me. I beat you to it barely. It appeared on my thing. So he gets dirt because and this is how he does it. He was on Mars. He had dirt. So it's a great example. This is actually how I base a lot of this game off of The Martian, off of the book and the movie. Mark Watney, the main character, um, he brought samples. So he ah, the story is he goes to the Mars. He's the first botanist that goes to Mars. His whole science, he's a scientist. All he does is work on plants. He's a botanist. That's all he does. And so he was trying to see when they start terraforming Mars, could they reintroduce bacteria to the stale Mars dirt and actually grow plants out of it. So when he gets stranded on Mars, he actually doesn't know if he can grow the plant. He doesn't know if he can grow. He doesn't know if he can grow that dirt yet. He has to basically bring life back to it. What he does when he's left by himself, he has random little things of bacteria he can test it on. But when is like, okay, I need to actually start growing potatoes in like bulk, bring all this dirt in there. Well, he has to figure out the water situation. That's a totally different problem. It wasn't the water; it was getting bacteria to it. What they did is they would save all of their poop. Would take all the waste and finished it. Finished it a while ago. I feel sick. I feel very sick. I do not feel well. I might have to end it. I am real. I feel really sick. Um. So they had all of the waste bags. So they would take that, reintroduce it to the soil from Mars, and they basically reintroduced the bacteria. Said how bad it smelled, and that was you. That's how he does it. So, for lack of a better term, you need compost. I think it took me like 20 minutes. It was pretty gross. I just had to power through it. Uh, Basically, that's why we have, because if you have, you can't just take dirt from an asteroid and then do that. So you need the compost, mix it with the regolith. Regolith is just a name for stale dirt. Probably close. Let me see your idea. At a research station, let people learn, add dirty dirt, change to the drop table of asteroids, implement dirt research, basically injections into at a way to. So it still doesn't like, you still need to be able to craft dirt bags. So I don't want to make it overly complicated, and like I'm trying to get like really simplify the game. The more random machines you need just to get like one item, kind of annoying. Like I already have a composter. It's already annoying for that, but the composter future types of fertilizer as well. So it's not just going to be only to make bags; it'll also be make things. Um, but so the basically, what to make a dirt bag, you need 2 regolith and 1 compost. Mix that, you get 1 dirt bag. To make 1 compost, you need 3 organic materials. You could take 2 tomatoes and a tomato seed, or you could take 3 tomato seeds, or you could take 3 plant clippings, or 2 seeds, 1 plant clipping. Just 3 organic material. Um, yeah, well, that's the thing too, is that like this is definitely one of those ones where I'm struggling with, because I'm holding on to the realism. I should probably let some of it go. Because part of farm, and so that's the other reason for that, part of farming is the regenerative side of making sure reusing your soil properly, right? And so it's also one of those things too, that the way that the game was played, and I had a couple play tests, and they played it before. Um, the way that they set up, we didn't have a crafting roast. You had to buy it from a store. So there's a little store on your tablet that you could go purchase it from and ship it to you. That was the idea for the game. No, I totally agree. Yeah. No, and that's totally fair. The knowledge thing. The There are certain things. Uh, there are certain things like for example, if you actually use plant clippings like from a dead plant and you put it in a composter, you're really it's not like it's not going to generate enough organic material for you to actually make. You would need to be abstract. Um, um, and so that's my only thing is it something more than just right. So the easiest solution for me has just been the compost because then it adds a little bit extra element of you needing to plan and organize your resources a little bit better. But obviously, like watch play it just now, you saw how overly complicated things get really quickly. But sorry, I have a noise gate on here because I have an AC running, and so I don't want it to be loud. So I have to make sure I'm talking straight into my microphone. Because if I start talking far away properly, so I have to be like right here. So it's probably me. Hopefully this is a little bit better. But I don't know. Logically and scientifically, you would need to have a compost added to the stale dirt. If you added water to stale dirt, so what if, okay, less complicated, but more complicated in a different light. We have a we have the composter machine. The composter, you have to fill it with organic material. You're still creating compost, but we get rid of the compost as an item. To make the dirt, the dirt bags, you add the regolith and water, the compost. And then as you start adding organic materials to it, it automatically just like a smelter kind of sifts through that and just starts pumping out as many dirt bags as you're able to put into that organic material of any type. The dirt, the regolith, that. I feel like I'm gonna, but it's so funny. Like I'll come down to the dinner table and I'll like about something like this, like, oh, I'm trying to figure out how to craft dirt. And she's like, we have to pay taxes. Shut up. Like these are the things in my brain that won't let me go. Man, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things too where I kind of like I try to make all these things individual, so I'm not trying to lump them all together. So in case I want to move the composter, it's not break the whole game. Obviously, if you remove something like fabricate, we're screwed. Had it like, well, that's the other thing too. Is just like we have like random gardens and like come from different family backgrounds and like little bits of farming, not nothing crazy, but like that's what's hard with this stuff is just like I come from like some of this stuff comes from like a background of like doing it, and so I'm like, oh, this is not how it's supposed to be done, you know. But like one of the biggest things, one of the biggest hurdles I had that I finally got over, and there's an element of realism I had to let go. A great example is the time. Bean base is calculated and played in real time. It is using your system's clock, and it is canon to the lore of the game. Might be like, how on earth are you able to grow an onion in 20 minutes? There's a little element of realism and fantasy that is taken out of it. So the race, the species that you play as in the beginning of this stream, the joke while I was eating the mayo, Fridians are basically plant people. They breathe CO2. They are sentient, like they're sentient. They're basically sentient plants. That's all they are, and so they have an intuitive understanding on like how plants are supposed. What do they need? They almost can like talk telepathically to them to make sure they get exactly what they need. So this species has always been the best at growing plants, surpassing any other species in the entire galaxy. And so their whole like the lore of the game is that they helped one planet solve their world hunger problem because they started having all these crazy famines, and then they came to that planet and fix it. From there they were able to go to another planet and fix a world hunger problem from famines. Started doing this all over the place. Now it's known as the CGE, which is the Caribbean Galactic Effort, where they're just solving like galaxy wide hunger. Super stupid, lots of lore there. But that's why you breathe CO2. But because if you had a like, and they even talk like Mark Watney and Christian talk. There's at one point where he leaves on his journey. He has to leave 50 miles, 60 miles. Might have been more than that. He leave for like 5 days. In the on his rover to go explore something. When he left, the base he had been growing all these potatoes and other plants. When he he left, he needed to make sure that they still had enough CO2 to keep growing. So he basically hotboxed the entire base station that he had with just CO2. Over time, the CO2 would be gone because the plants would consume it and there'd be nothing left in after a because he pumped it full of just CO2. When he left and came back, the plants had actually grown a little bit faster because but CO. And so, anyways, super interesting. So I was thinking, like, oh, what if these guys just breathe the same thing as the plants? Uh, they're just growing quickly now, and then you have a CO2 emitter that is just constantly cycling this pure oxygen with more carbon in the air. Hey, CO2, good. Why is the broccoli goth? Matthias really wants goth characters and be very badly. What's the most goth asparagus? Asparagus a vegetable? I think it is. Would it be considered like a? No, it would be. What do I think it would be? I don't know, dude. Mayo is getting in my head. I feel very ill. So the realism, going back to the realism thing, issue I had was because the game is played in real time. How do you justify plants growing that quickly. And so there's a couple things in there I wanted to break down with science, but also I had to sacrifice some of the realism behind. So every time you log on to Beanbase, it does take the current date. Actually, I'll show you really quick. Um, for those of you who haven't seen this. So if you quit and you continue your game, this where it says 6 days right here, that is not accurate. I gotta change that. But it does check your current date. And so where it says time in stasis, how the frick did you get in here? That is a glitch. Anyways, where it says time in stasis, that will actually change to that'll actually change how long it's been since you last logged. And the logic is you when you leave, your entire base is cryo free because there's so much CO2 in your base. If you were to just leave, all your plants would all wither away. If you logged off for a couple months, everything would be dead. Everything. You had pets, dead, everything, right? So the logic is when you leave, everything goes cryo freeze. Come back, it's exactly right where you left. So unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to like plant a bunch of things, go to bed, wake back up. You have to play the game for it to actually progress. But it also like the reason the game is played on a cycle is you have daily tasks that will randomly change every single day. When you come back to your NPCs, there'll be new NPCs with new quests, with new, whatever. That's where the game's really going to shine. Because if you had it logged on where you're like, cool, I'm gonna grow all my plants and then I'm gonna go to bed. Well, the plants take on average about 15 to 20 at most, right? Some plants take 5. You go to bed, you sleep for 8 hours in real life, and then you log back on. Your plants have been growing for 8 hours. Game's tracked in real life off of the real life clock. The rest of the world's going to be playing without you. So all the NPCs are still doing things while you're not. So every time you log on, there'll probably be a different NPC. They'll probably have a different dialogue, have a different. So a lot of it's going to be like RNGs. I'm really excited for that. I don't know. I don't sleep 8 hours. I sleep like saying on average, you should be sleeping for 7 to 8 hours. Should. Don't. We're in the same boat. But anyways, very fun. Now that was an element of realism in my game I had to let go. Was like trying, but also I think it's gonna really make the um you know what's funny? So when I was full time, because right now I haven't been working construction nearly as much as I have been. Um which has been really nice. I have been actually which is great. When I was running my tile business, my microphone filter. Um, when I was running my tile business, I seriously, dude, it was like see a space bear if you're popping off. Um, if when I was running the tile business, I hit 50. I worked for 50 hours this last winter, and dude, I got that messed me up. Literally, like, I just didn't like, I well, it wasn't just tile, so I was doing I was doing a new build, so there's a builder I was working with in new construction, so I was doing a master shower and a couple other showers in this house. And then I was coming home and we were doing a renovation. So I was doing the remodel at home at night, and then I was going to work all day. I did that for 2. If I got 50 hours, I didn't realize. I didn't realize. And dude, I messed me up. I can do like I can do. I don't know if after that I actually messed. Like I feel like I haven't recovered properly after. But in the past, I have been able to do like 6 hours straight without easy side effects. Besides in the moment, when you're awake longer than like 20 hours straight, trying to do physical labor, you freaking you're like schizo. It's insane. You'll see things and you're just like, huh. Like it's so weird. I don't like it. It is not a fun feeling. But game dev has been really fun too. It's a new challenge because I'm so physically like I need to be doing things with my hands. It's hard to be sitting at a desk for longer than like in 2 hours straight for me at a desk is pretty hard to do, even if I'm playing a video. Like even now I'm getting antsy. Like it also is probably the freaking mayo talking too. But yes, sir, we finished it. Finished it like 3 hours ago. You missed it. Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to pick stuff, but honestly, it's like live in such a cool time. It's never been easier. I don't know yet. My body hurt. I wish, dude. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I'm the type. Everybody posts this stuff on all the time. They comment about my setup. I have this huge curved monitor, and then I have this like derpy little frick right there. These are all things. So this big curved monitor was a gift. Um, Super cool, right? A family member. Is it getting worse? If I turn it up, what's going to happen is you're just going to start hearing this more. I apologize. I just need to talk straight into it. This is where we won't have any problems. The second I start moving, it's it's screwed. So I have to keep my mouth right here. Just do this the whole time. I'll pull a Leafy, the old callback. You guys know who Leafy is? Probably not. Um, but everybody has said, not everybody, a lot of people on the Instagram have said, so actually more so on TikTok, they comment about like, oh, I don't have any money. I don't have a cool setup like this. And I'm like, I've been very fortunate. Like this monitor is super cool. The everything else is dumpster dived. Like literally this so the little monitor here was literally $10 at a garage sale when I was like 13. I got it when I was like in junior high. This desk was $10 on Facebook Marketplace. That monitor I dumpster dived when I pulled 9 PCs out of an office when that's awesome. For real. Well, I didn't do I didn't I haven't I the Bean Base is my first game, so like I'm very fortunate to have to start on um thanks Matthias. I'm very fortunate to have started doing game dev on a cooler setup because my first PC I saved up and I bought it from Costco when I was in when I was like in high school. It took me like 3 saved up and I got it. I still have the parts for it. Um but anyways, it's just funny because I'm a prop builder too. And so that's why I have all these helmets. I'm constantly trying to go to like random offices that are going out of business or are moving or they're trying to like get rid of old equipment. And I don't care if it's broken. I take tons of PCs and I just rip them apart. And I use the parts to make little greeblies and things out of to make it look Star Warsy or whatever. And the there's been a couple gold nuggets I found. There was one recently. There's a PC. It's actually in my room that I found that needs that needs it needs some work. I'm not gonna, but it has an SSD in there that I want because I have like a M.2 that's like 500 gigabytes on this PC, which sucks. So I'm constantly like, uh, I don't know where they're at, but I have like physical hard drives that have an adapter that I plug them into, and it's so slow. But dude, I have a friend of mine who's on. He's using a really crappy PC, and he's building an MMO, first person shooter. He's building an MMO first person shooter in Unreal, and I went over to his house, and he was like, "All right, you want to see it? Maybe you give me some tips." And I was like, "We go over," and he boots up Unreal. Dude, it took him like 5 minutes to like, dude, it's so worth it. I love them, but like they're like a terabyte each, so it's just like all those I took from old PCs. Some of them had some sensitive information from the offices I worked at, so I was like, I'm so glad I'm not a bad guy. Or you should be glad I'm not a bad guy because that's bad. Anyways, um, dude, it was bad. It just took so long. I was just like, oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, his PC was just yeah, it was bad. But I was like, dude, he's like, well, because I don't have the greatest PC in the world, but it is better than a lot of people's. Dude, it is like Godot is just so fun because it's just like done there. And granted, I'm not making a crazy realistic game at all, but watching how people have booted up Unity and then watching people boot up Godot, it's like Godot is just. But I don't have any experience working in Unity. I only have experience working with Godot because that's where I started. So, but it's cool. It's cool to see all the different ways things are done. But I don't know. It's so funny. I feel like I have such bad imposter syndrome with this because I'm so new to game dev and I really don't know what I'm doing. But it's I constantly get people asking, "Do you have any tips on game dev?" Um, that's awesome. If people ask for like advice on like what should you do for Mayo's getting to, it's seriously it like I actually have a terrible headache. It's not good. Um, People online like on Instagram will ask, "Do you have any advice for a starting game dev?" And I'm like, dude, I'm a starting game dev. No idea what I'm talking. But my biggest advice I honestly do believe in is understanding actually what makes a game fun is important because a lot of the time things that us developers find fun are really weird problem solving puzzles that players would not find fun. And so for us, like the things that we get joy out of just are really dude, I've been drinking I was drinking water while we did the freaking mayo. I should drink water. Thanks for the reminder. It's just weird. Um but my biggest thing I've told people is like go if you want to become a better game dev, I really do believe this. Go play Dungeons and Dragons. Get a Dungeons and Dragons group. Don't run a module. Make your own game with your own world, with your own campaign. It doesn't have to be a campaign. Just do a one shot. Make it yourself and go for it. I really think that it just gets your mind in a different headspace of like understanding, oh, I'm watching what the players are experiencing. Granted, it's not a video game, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna drink it. I'm gonna fight you. I'm not very good at fighting. That's what's hard. So if you have any, so one game I need to play only because people keep pushing it on me is Space Station 13. I've never played Space Station 13. I didn't even know what it was until I was a couple weeks into making Bean Base. But a ton of people keep telling me your game looks exactly like Space Station 13. I'm like, I don't know what that is. But yeah, I so like Minecraft is the game I have the most hours in. That's how I even have an inkling of understanding code was because I loved trying. My favorite thing to do in Minecraft was make custom data packs. I didn't like doing mods, but I was obsessed with trying to make the most advanced data packs because then it was like, no, this is still vanilla Minecraft. It's you don't have to do anything external. All you have to do is just download this. That's it. You don't need like it. I just loved that. Um, but Space Station 13 is like it's like a management game. I don't. I haven't played it. I feel very embarrassed. I have never. I did. Well, that's kind. I don't want to say anything, but there's a lot about that game where I'm like, dude, the characters don't even have animations. But I don't want to talk too bad about it. That game was extremely successful and had a crazy cult following for a long time, a long, long, long. So that's a game I would want to check out just because people are telling me it looks like that. So I'd at least want to know, okay, what about this game reminds you of this? Is it just space game in space station pixel art? Is that the only thing that people are relating to it? All the time, people are saying, I get that comment literally like 5 times a week, if not more, probably more than that, where people go literally just Space Station 13. And I get that all the time. Like, sorry. I'm like, I don't think it is. Um, I've never played it, so I don't know. But that's a game I need to play. People do love automation. I mean, that's the thing, especially, well, specifically PC gamers that love base building games love automation. It's like the feeling of, I think it's the feeling of creating something that starts working itself, like you're creating life. I think is what makes people like the idea of creating something that just evolves on its own. I think that's why like a lot of people are obsessed with AI is just like this thing that is like beyond us that's not human but it's like living and weird like I think that's what people love about like automation in games because that's what I love. Like playing Minecraft growing up, item sorters was like I cannot tell you how many in like survival worlds. Like the first thing I want to do is it's like freaking cool item sorters where you just throw your items in one chest and it cycles through the whole thing and you any item and then you have a little key code that sends them back and like I love stuff like that. And I think it was because I felt like I made a living machine that like a Frankenstein or whatever. Anyways, in the weeds. I'm in the weeds. I'm probably gonna call it here soon. Does it we only got 2 viewers left here, it looks like. Any you guys have any thoughts, comments, or things we want to end on? I'm not sure what you meant. I'm dumb as a developer. Well, and so that's something I really coming from a construction background. I know that sounds so annoying. So frustrating to hear, but honestly coming from a construction background gives me a different insight into that. So for me I was a tile setter and I've been a tile setter for like 8 years. And even longer than that because my dad was a tile setter. Um I I'm honestly a very very good tile setter. Not I don't brag about a lot, but I'm a very good tile setter. Uh there are so many jobs I go on where I'm just like you screwed up your grout lines. You didn't do this. You could have used epoxy. You didn't do that. You didn't use this trim. You didn't use this waterproofing. You didn't do a flood test. Like I can just pick apart people's jobs like that in seconds, you know. But there's so many things that there's when I especially when I started my business, there were so many times I would show up on someone's job. And I would show up and I'd look at someone's shower that they're like, I want to redo this. I don't like the way the tile looks. Um, and I'm just giving them a quote to give them a new shower, right? And the homeowner would be like, "Yes, look how the tile guy did this. Isn't that horrible? This subway tile sucks. This design sucks." And I look at it. There's been a couple of jobs I show up and I'm like, "This is unacceptable. Like work. This is terrible." And there's been a couple I show up and I'm like, "Honestly, it's not bad. I wouldn't do that. I could definitely do a 10,000 times better job than this." But I'm not going to tell the homeowner that. And the reason I'm not going to tell the homeowner that is because there's been a couple times where I've done a job or I've done an estimate and I show up and they have a kitchen backsplash. And they're like, we want to demo the kitchen backsplash. We want a new kitchen backsplash. Like, okay, cool. Man, who the heck set this backsplash? This looks terrible. And then they go, oh, I said it. And the homeowner said it themselves. Well, had I known it was an amateur who didn't set the tile, let alone it's the customer I'm talking to, my opinion completely changes, right? And so, like, there are certain things for me, like I try not to I try not to have the comparison game where I'm like, I could have made this better or I could have done this better. It's like I'll do that on my own work. I constantly am comparing myself to my own work where like I look at the stuff where I first started working on the bean based game to now where I'm like, that sucks, dude. I cannot believe I created that. Like today, I'm actually embarrassed on the soft locks that happened. I'm gonna go and like I'm probably not gonna sleep tonight, getting them all fixed. Like because I want like I love comparing myself to myself, but the second I start looking at like Stardew Valley. So there's a couple things in Stardew Valley that I instantly look at and I'm like, I freaking hate that. I hate that the way the pixel art does that. Um the pickaxe, when you swing a pickaxe down, I hate the way the sprite just rotates, like bugs the crap out of me. And there's stuff like that in Bean Base, and I also hate it. And I really um because I'm such a perfectionist. Like a pixel movement has to be perfect, and like there's just stupid things like that, or like when you're in the menu and certain pixel tabs will move and grow, but the pixels don't change sizes. Like stuff like that bugs me so bad. But am I going to sit here and think that I'm better than Concerned Ape as a developer? Absolutely not, dude. That guy's the GOAT. Like he's so good at what he does. And so for me to compare myself and my skills to like he could do, no way. He's so good. But there are things that you pick up on and I'm like, I caught that. I'm not going to do that in my game. I'm going to learn this instead. I'm going to do it this way. And I think coming from a construction background helps me because I can kind of come into this with a more unique perspective, but at the end of the day, it's like, you making a good game or not? Is it fun? Fun? It's fun? All right, send it. It probably made no sense. Somebody probably just tuned in to the stream for the first time. They're just like, what the frick is this guy rambling? Fun story. Chimp. Speaking of which, you guys feel like mustaches gross yet? Everybody has a mustache right now. A couple of years ago, mustaches were disgusting. Like, if you had a mustache, people thought you were a predator. And now it's like everybody wants a mustache. What do you think? Mustaches, yay or nay? I just haven't shaved. Okay, I'm reading what you got. Crazy, man. It's just like, especially when you come at, like, when you come into, I just think that, like, I don't know. Done. Um, Game with fighting and dungeons took me 3 years, and now skilling system with 12 unique skills, level 4 side buffs, skill, and a total of 900 new just for those skills, and mainly the entire game and the side content to make it normal. 3 years ago, they said that's impossible. That's the hard. It's just well, the hard thing. Yeah, of course, I'm still streaming. I'm scared to leave this chair. I feel like I'm going to stand up and I'm going to black out. Yeah, it's fun being trying to be in game dev with a different background that is a little bit more unorthodox. That is very true. Very, very, very true. No, that's 100% true. Well, it's also more of a reason. Yeah, you have no idea, dude. My water, it's not good. Be lucky if I drank one of these a day. I need to drink like be healthy. I need to be drinking like 2 or 3 of these a day. Yeah, I have a weird. I just don't like. I have so many weird health. Awesome. Probably shouldn't have eaten an entire jar of mayonnaise. I feel very sick. Feel very ill. All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna end it here. Get you water container. This is from a well. We just dug a new well because our last well dried up. That was annoying. I made this meme. Tile setter nutritional facts. It won't focus. I gotta do it for the bit. That's what the people wanted. I think a lot of people thought I wouldn't do it. That would be funny. That'd be a funny idea. Like, you think it's an idea? This is reality. I am gonna have to start. So that's that's one of the next things in the polishing I'm nervous for. I got to start working on sound design probably within the next month. But I love it. I was a competitive beatboxer for a little bit. Not competitive, I shouldn't say. I was a casual beatboxer that wanted to go competitive. I did like 1 or 2 competitions then. So I'm really excited to do that because a lot of the sounds in the game is just me making noises with my mouth and then I just edit them in Audacity. That sound is the asteroids hitting the hull. And the door is just so stupid. Anyways, I'm going to get off and I'm going to try to take a shower and forget about today. Except for what I need to no, I do like the freaking I love making sounds. I love making sounds from things. That's all sound. That's all sound design is making sounds from things that are random. Um but there's something about making sounds. I think I saw that with Code Bullet. Um but anyways, I'm going to end it here. So thank you guys for everybody who stayed and watched me eat mayo. As gross as that was, we had like 15 viewers at one point. That was pretty cool. I think that's the most I've had at once in one go. But I got a lot to work on with Bean Base, and maybe we'll do another play test here in the next couple weeks. The little bugs that we ran into that soft lock the game shouldn't even be that hard to fix. A couple hours of work at most, not even. So cool. Not even. It would take me barely any time. So cool.